members of DreamWorks, and he split off and started his own studio. And I am a good salesman, and that's how that happened. So what was said before this call by Ray was the hardest thing to see is what's in front of your own eyes. Isn't that the truth? You know, Ray, I remember a story back we were at Sterling, and a guy, Randy from Mississippi, flew in, and I picked him up at the airport in Salt Lake. And he's like, "Oh my gosh, look at these mountains." And I was like, "Yeah." And I started talking. He goes, No, wait a second, brother. Look at these mountains. And I realized, yeah, they're beautiful. And I kept talking. He's like, "Wait, I'm from Mississippi. I've never been here. Look at these mountains." And I realized right in front of my face, every day we look out the window and these beautiful, the Rocky Mountains here. And sometimes the hardest thing to see is right in front of your own eyes. And this is actually true of what we're going to talk about today. In the world of health and wellness, somebody put it this way to me. This is an industry expert that is spent his entire life dedicated to direct selling after 1988. He went into many companies, he recited, and he said, "It seems like we have been skirting around and tripping over this botanical our whole lives, and nobody put a focus on it until now." So this was my moment of epiphany, folks. This right here on the right is actually olive oil. There is no colorization. There is no photoshopping. This is, I'm going to freeze that one right there. This is olive oil, what it looks like when it is extra virgin first press for about the first 2 minutes, 3 minutes of any pressing every fall. Olive oil comes out looking like that. It's that bright green. And I spent summers in summers for about 10, 15 years in Italy, spent part of it there this year. And we rent a house on an olive orchard, and I got to know a lot about olives. And the young man you saw there in the video, I turned the sound off, but he was pouring me my olive oil that I use. And you can see the little glass. It's hard to see. This is an eye chart, but if you look off to the left, I guess, there's a glass on the floor. I held that glass up, and you can see there's a green tint to it. It's not as bright as the stuff on the right. But a couple of years ago, my landlady came out, and she had a bottle of the first press, and she put it in a bottle like this, and she poured me a little shot, and she said, "This is the life force of the olive." And she said, if there was any way to stabilize this, this is a nutritional powerhouse. But you filter all the dissolved solids out of it, because essentially olive oil is a fruit juice. As weird as it is an extract. It's a fruit juice, it's an extract, all of the above. No pun intended. I'm punchy today. I don't know what it is. So you basically filter out this green dissolved sediment in there, because it has no stability if you leave it in there. Fruit, if you know, doesn't have a stable shelf life unless you put preservatives, and no self-respecting Italian would put preservatives in olive oil. So just by way of beginning point in this discussion, that is what extra virgin olive oil looks like when you're first pressing it. And I would say even 1% of Italians have ever seen this, maybe 1% of 1%. You kind of have to be able to have somebody that has an olive, what would be the word? Estate. Farms, grove. I don't even know. Farm, orchard, maybe.
That was your
somebody will Google that and find out. So everybody's got ChatGPT. We'll know before the end of this call. Anyway, going forward, here is our problem in the US of A. I love the United States. I've moved here from Canada for a reason. Joe's the same way. I think it's an amazing place. But both Canada and the United States, we have not raised olive oil to a level of awareness. This is a classic example. I love the good people of Trader Joe's. They get a lot of my money every week. However, they are a little less enlightened about olive oil. So this is one that they sell. Imported olive oil, packed in Italy. If you look at the back of the ingredient panel, it says refined, number one ingredient, refined olive oil, which means that's not even first press. Olives can be pressed once, and then they take the matter and they press it again, and then they take it and they press it again. They press it thricely. Is that a word? Thricely? Today it is. So look at the second ingredient, which means it's the one that is the lowest quantity, is extra virgin olive oil, which means all the statistics we are going to present to you today based on extra virgin olive oil do not apply with this product. And I like to point out, packed in Italy, oh, that's comfortable. But then you look at the bottom and in small print, produced in Italy, and Tunisia. I have to look at, in full disclosure, I don't even know where Tunisia is, but I don't think I trust them with my olive oil. So let's put this to our point of reveal here. OLIABO, this is the name of a company that we will be launching this fall. It is the name of the company. Vita Bella, I should point out, because people have asked, it just means the beautiful life. It is where Italian purity meets American purpose. I love my Italian roots. I love my Canadian roots. Neither one of those countries do government very well. I'm here to tell you, they're like emotionally, they're governmentally constipated. And but they are really, really particular about the purity of the food they grow. In Italy, they have banned Monsanto. And I'm not trying to get on a political bandwagon here, but Monsanto is that genetically modified grains, the ones that are Roundup resistant, which is a herbicide or pesticide, herbicide, both. I don't know. Like it's like malathion that they spray onto corn and then we eat it. So that's illegal in Italy. It's actually completely illegal. You're not allowed to bring it in. They have an amazing, they've elevated food to an unnatural level. So we say Italian purity meets American purpose. And this is by way of just, you're going to start to see images now. We decided to camp on a brand style, and I love the period of time. My mom would speak with great affection about the period in Italy after World War II. And after World War II, she said the whole world seemed to turn into bright technicolor because everything was drab and camouflage during World War II. And then the 50s came along, and it was the whole universe became multicolored. It was before film went to color. So illustrators would do this beautiful photorealistic style. And I thought, what a beautiful space. We're going to create a world this fall, a world that people will want to live in because of the health benefits. I think also this is a little slice of humanity here that's just a little bit more optimistic than the rest of the world.
Curtis, one thing I want to just point out, as we walk through this presentation and the story and the brand and the product, you'll start to see that we're creating a whole package here. We're not just throwing out some product. We're not just putting a few stock images together that we pulled from the internet. All of the things you see in this presentation, the naming conventions, OLIABO as a word, the imaging, the brand positioning, the product elements, this is all our work product that we're putting together to create this whole package, this whole world. And it's really well done, thanks to Gordon's visual elements, thanks to the product partners and manufacturing partners that we have, and just the general experience that this team brings. So I'm sure some of you already kind of started to clue in on that, but we'll talk more about that. But just as we unfold this, recognize the world that's being put together here.
No, I appreciate that, Curtis. This is a very good point. One of the things that I always talk about is that my brother Joe is definitely way more herbal gerbil cred than I do. I got pretty good herbal gerbil cred, but Joe is like, that dude, I don't even think you own a microwave. You don't even own a microwave. Wow. Okay, he's hardcore, you guys. He has food conspiracy theories that I only live on the outskirts of the internet. And I was like, dude, I don't know. I'm like big in health and nutrition, right? I'm helping you. But Joe is the most, I can't tell you guys, this is one remarkably amazing human being. He's just, his love of humanity and his love of health and nutrition. I think all of my partners are that way. I got to say this. Ashley is definitely the emotional anchor for us to keep us grounded. My skill set is that I'm a little bit shallow and self-centered. I want things to look a certain way. And when you look at imaging, I say that a little tongue-in-cheek. I think one of the sad things about health and nutrition is one of the industry and direct selling is that sometimes there's a lack of, I don't know, we think that we don't need brand sophistication, but that's right here about the number of people starting new business in the United States and the number of entrepreneurs we're producing tells us something different. There is a sudden shift in wellness. It happened, an amazing shift happened during COVID and after COVID, where there was a certain suspicion that started to happen about the foods that we were eating and the medical advice we were getting. And there was a previous notion that if it didn't come from a doctor or wasn't prescribed by a doctor or dispensed by a pharmacist, that it wasn't real. And I'm telling you folks, what we're going to talk about is extremely real with statistics and numbers. And like, just look at this one stat. The increase in gut health supplements in 2023, 2024, 58%. When I created this pitch deck, they hadn't compiled 2020. Okay, it was 2023 and 24. All right. ignore that. Okay, here's the problem. There's an overwhelming amount of supplement choices out there. Right now, if you were to go to the internet and Google, hey, what's good for me? What should I be taking? The answers are everything. I can take so many supplements in the morning, I can be full before I start breakfast. And there is an overwhelming number of supplement choices, but we whittled it down. When you try to concentrate on everything, you end up focusing on nothing. And Charlie and some of these folks know that this is the thing that we did in our previous life.
Yeah, I think one of the amazing things is that manufacturing and technology has provided convenience of choice, but it's now created this world of confusion, right? Confusion about quality, about sourcing, about which ones to take and which ones not to take. There's this convenience factor, and the confusion is through the roof.
It's true. And the confused don't buy supplements. I'm here to tell you folks, confusion is bad for a marketplace. So our whole thing is we want to focus. So let me show you that OLIABO is not just a word. It's not just the name of the company. It's a brand. And we are introducing a phrase, the olive standard, to the world of health and wellness. And that is that we are taking this wonderful botanical that everybody's been tripping over. I'm not kidding. I think I've Googled it. It was like 140 mentions of the olive in the Bible. I'm like, good grief. It's one of the first printed books in the history, right? And it
Talk a little about OLIABO as a word.
Yeah, sure. Oh yeah, the word OLIABO. Thank you for leading the witness. OLIABO. It's a made-up word. It's combined two words. One is the word for oil in Italian, the feminine, olia, and the word botanica. And we took them together, OLIABO, and we fused it and made our own word. And Leah also happens to be my daughter's name, spelled that way, L-I-A. And I'm a little proud of that. It's also the last few letters of Italia, the country. So thanks, Curtis. It is our word. The USPTO has this word in their database now because they're processing our trademark information, but it is a brand. It's going to come to mean something. One of history's most important botanicals. I'm going to tell you this. The thing I've been riffing about lately is the fact that there are very few things, you turn on the news in 2025 and you see that there are the three Abrahamic religions in the world don't seem to get along about many things. But if you take all three of those religions, the one thing that they can absolutely agree on is that the olive holds a place of ridiculous importance in all three of those cultures. Not only the olive branch and the olive fruit, but the olive oil. And it has powerful health benefits that modern science continues to affirm. As a matter of fact, a lot of the science you're going to see here is in the last 20 years. Joe and I launched Zango in 2002. Most of this science has happened since those years. And it's not like the fruit changed, it's just that the science validated it. Here's some of the statistics. You guys take these.
Yeah.
Curtis, you go heart. Your heart health.
Yeah, let me start on this. So these stats we're going to get into, this is just a good quality extra virgin olive oil is where these stats and these studies come from. So you can see that the footnotes on all of these. This isn't information we came up with or we made up. These are actual studies on consistent taking of a high quality extra virgin olive oil. And then we're going to talk about some additional componentry and elements that are going to go into our product mix. But these stats are specifically related to extra virgin olive oil. 50 milliliters a day, so that's about a little more than 3 tablespoons a day, resulted in a 30% lower risk of cardiovascular disease. 30% lower. I mean, that's a massive number. This is a group of 7,447 participants who were at high cardiovascular risk, and 50 milliliters a day and a good quality extra virgin olive oil reduced that risk by 30%. Pretty amazing. 30%
reduced incidence of cardiovascular disaster. And that's a big number, folks. Who wants mortality? It's kind of dumb.
Well, it's an all-cause mortality.
There you go,
This
Joe.
is like a major. This is a major number right here. 11 mil. What would that be? Maybe
A tablespoon.
Not even a tablespoon. Like, it's
You don't
not even a tablespoon. It's what you would put on a salad. That number right there, 8 to 9%, is massive. And when you consider that is only taking extra virgin olive oil, that's it. A good quality extra virgin olive oil. And we're going to get into that, by the way, because Gord touched on it with showing that slide from Trader Joe's. That's a dirty secret that exists all over the world. In fact, I was just in Italy, just so you know, and I want to step back. In fact, that shot that you got there, Gord.
That's just teaspoons, folks.
Is it?
Teaspoons.
Okay.
2 points on this.
No,
the shot.
teaspoons,
Yeah,
yes.
teaspoons.
So I was just in Sicily, and in Sicily, we were on a cooking tour, me and my wife, with some friends. And the chefs, every one of them talked about the value of extra virgin olive oil, high phenolic particularly. We'll get into that in a second, high phenolic extra virgin olive oil. And they're very serious about it. And they said, in Sicily, don't ever go to the store and buy your extra virgin olive oil. You buy it directly from the source. And so they go directly to the source. So now I'm actually going directly to the source in Sicily. I found one that I was comfortable with. They actually do taste testing of olive oil there. And I go directly to that. And I also found another brand that I'm using. So I'm taking this quite a lot more seriously. And I was brought up as an Italian. So it's this awareness gap that you always talk about, Curtis. We're going to help fill that awareness gap. And just that alone, again, that's not even 1 tablespoon, guys. 8 to 9%. Drugs would love, I shouldn't say that, but honestly, the pharmaceutical industry would love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, this is from the New England Journal of Medicine, 2022. So,
Yeah, it's a 3-year-old study.
really amazing stuff.
That's a big study. Ashley,
I get all the big words.
you
for
get,
it.
you get brain health.
Actually, this one's so important too. So we've been hearing stories about people having doctors tell them, you need more olive oil for brain health. And, we're looking into it and we're like, this is incredible. This not only helps your body, but your brain as well. So, yeah. So what is this? About
4 teaspoons.
4 teaspoons. Like
No,
about
no,
a
yeah,
tablespoon
teaspoons.
a day,
Teaspoons, yeah.
which I mean, I am soaking bread in it. Done. I'm there. So it helps with Alzheimer's. It helps with dementia. So many good things. Oh,
When we say brain health, I should point out.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ashley.
Yeah.
Good job. She does so fine. Don't you agree? Ashley didn't. One of the things that we talk about is none of us are. Okay, Ashley and Curtis as examples here, both drinking a caffeinated beverage. We're not against caffeine. Caffeine is good for stimulation of the central nervous system. This is different. This is brain health. This is actually like a lubricant that kind of breaks up sticky proteins that accumulate up in our gray matter and they account for some pretty drastic and awful stats in America right now for Alzheimer's and adult onset diabetes. Who wants?
Oh, by the way, can I jump in there for a second? I want to point out, and you're going to see this in just a moment, everyone. Some on this call have seen this already, but this is just a good quality extra virgin olive oil. We're going to jump into some extracts that we're going to talk to you about that specifically, like you start extracting some of these constituents that are found within the olive and olive tree and olive leaf and everything. And just one of the extracts alone focuses on brain health itself and cognitive effect. And so you now start talking extracts, it just brings it up significantly more. And so it's really quite exciting. Sorry, Mark, go ahead.
No worries.
So Joe touched on a word. Let me go to the next one. Joe touched on a word. So high phenolic extra virgin olive oil, HPEVO. You see that there? So this is a new term that most of you probably haven't heard before. So one of the reasons why all of these stats that you're seeing are so powerful is because high quality extra virgin olive oil is high in polyphenols. There's a whole list of polyphenols that are found in extra virgin olive oil that are incredible and creating all these amazing benefits. And several of those have massive anti-inflammatory effects. In fact, COX-1 and COX-2 inhibition anti-inflammatory effects. And HPEVO, high phenolic extra virgin olive oil, is a step above a good quality extra virgin olive oil in that it's specifically when olives are harvested, certain types of olives, and the process they go through to produce that extra virgin olive oil that creates an even higher level of polyphenols in various categories in this type of HPEVO that we're talking about. HPEVO, high phenolic extra virgin olive oil.
Now,
I'll be sending
there's a tease at the bottom there, so I'm trying to get to the next slide.
Yeah, sorry. One thing, you feel free to take notes, but I'll also be sending an email afterwards that has some of these different terminology pieces in it so that you can then spend some time and enjoy the process of digging around and finding some fun info on your own.
So this is what is at the bottom of that previous slide that I tried to skip through. We just put the slides out of order, so we're trying to get the rhythm of here. But oleocanthal is a word that was discovered. If you see the bottom, not to keep jumping back and forth, but the bottom study right there is a 2005 study where they discovered that oleocanthal is a component of extra virgin olive oil. It had not been identified widely at this point, and it is the one that behaves similarly to ibuprofen. As a matter of fact, actually, do you want to hear I'll have you do the epiphany discussion that you share with us.
So I was listening to a podcast and I heard the name Gary Beecham. And turns out he was actually in Sicily where Joe was. And he's a sensory scientist. So he was doing an olive oil tasting there. And he tasted different ones and he got to one and he drank it and he got this burning in the back of his throat. And he said, "Who put in ibuprofen in my olive oil?" Because it had that same kind of tingling in the back of his throat as an uncoated by ibuprofen does. Or if you chew an ibuprofen, it has that kind of feeling. I don't know if you guys have ever done that. I chewed one just to see exactly the same. It's terrible. It's the worst.
I don't recommend it. It's not good for your teeth, but it's true. And what happens is this burning sensation. If anybody's had a good quality extra virgin olive oil, there is on your tongue it's smooth, but you feel it in the back of your throat. As a matter of fact, there is a term that they call 3 coughs. And what happens is if you take a good extra virgin olive oil, not in your food, like if you just pour a tablespoon, you go 3 times essentially. They're like, oh yeah, like Italians are like, okay, you cough 3 times. Hey, I'm up the one on. Yeah, hey, good. So anyway, oleocanthal is currently only known exclusively to olives. And that was our epiphany. So, ladies and gentlemen, announcing our proprietary ingredient, and I will have, who wants to take this slide? Joe and Curtis have their hands up. Who wants leaf, who wants fruit?
But I'll jump in here because this is where I was kind of going, Gord, if that's okay.
There you go.
So I want to point out what we've talked about thus far, and you're going to hear about this more. It's the reticular activating system, I guess. Well, now that we've planted it in your mind and your heart, you're going to start seeing this, okay? And you're going to start, whoa, okay, you're going to Google it. You're going to find different things about olive oil itself. Not to take away from that at all. I take olive oil each day now, by tablespoon in the morning, tablespoon at night, actually. They're phenomenal, okay? But we're going to take it to a different level. And Olivectin is a name. It's a brand. It's a trademark name. Okay, so if you're Googling Olivectin, you're not going to find anything because that's our name. It's our proprietary name. And what we're going to do is we're taking these extracts that come from the fruit of the olive and the extracts that come from, and you're seeing these names up here, from the leaf of the extract. And we're bringing this not just HP Evo, as Curtis was just talking about, but we're also bringing these extracts. And let me just there's not enough time on this presentation, truly, and I mean this sincerely, to go into all the research on this. But guys, those who are with Gordon and I in a former life, well, this takes things to a whole different level. Let me tell you, like, I'm just looking right now at the website of one of the extracts. So, and just so you know, these extracts they're coming from incredible sources in Europe. These are companies that have been around. One of them, Gord, what's over 100 years old?
One's 100 years old.
I think that's a really important thing, right? Because part of what we're putting together is all of these different components, but it's also where we're getting these components and the very specific partnerships that we've developed that have proprietary processes that they've developed that allow them to get a high quality extraction process from the fruit and from the leaf. And so the componentry is very beautiful.
They both have their own intellectual property on this, guys. This is something that it wasn't found in the United States.
Studies.
Yes.
Studies. Let me just I'm just looking at one of the sites right now, and you're not going to hear us name these trademarks because they do have their own protection on their trademarks. So, but we're going to be putting them in our Olivectin, and you're going to hear that word as we develop it, not only internally, but also externally on the skin. Okay. So we'll get to that in a minute, but I'm just looking at this. There's study and now I'm talking particularly on the fruit extract right now, okay? And there's a study on oxidative stress, for example. Huge. We have anyone who's a doctor and understands the power of that just alone. But the protection of the skin, I thought was very interesting. They did, and we're going to have the same amount of it's talking about this particular extract of 160 milligrams, and we'll have at least that. And it's talking about the skin, and this is orally, okay? And we're going to get into the topical here in a second too. But the results show a 16.45% result just by a person taking that from baseline, improving their skin when it comes to protection from UV protection. Now we're talking just an oral version of this. Again, anyone who hears that number 16 point, that's a very significant number when it comes to the health. And we're talking just one aspect here. And then we get into oxidative stress, we get into brain health, we get in and all the other stuff. One of these other extracts that I was talking about, skincare, antimicrobial, cardio protection, gut health, huge, as Gordon mentioned, huge, anti-diabetic, antioxidant, anti-aging, anti-inflammatory, cognitive health. It just, and that's that. Now we're talking directly from the website of the one that is for the leaf extract. So, guys, what we're talking about here is very special. And I was just telling these guys before we turned on, we actually came in about a minute late because we were geeking out about how much better I'm feeling. And I'm not trying to play this up. I know my body really well. And I know what injuries I've had in the past, and there's plenty of them. I don't know. Something's going on. That's all I'm going to say. There's something's going on. That's all I can say. And I'm not going to give you.
We're all having it.
It's like amazing. It's amazing.
So Joe touched on something that I'm really passionate about earlier. He talked about an awareness gap. So for those who have been around for a while, we've seen this in different types of products throughout the industry and just in our lives, right? There's the what awareness the general population has or doesn't even have that general awareness of a product. And then there's the actual information available and studies and medical science that starts to show what really is possible. And there's a gap in between. And so this is an incredible example of that, where olive oil and olives have been used for thousands of years, right? But it's only been the last 10 to 15 years where both medical science and the manufacturing and extraction processes have come to bear that now show us all these different things that we're starting to expose you to. High phenolic extra virgin olive oil, the breakdown of all these amazing polyphenol compounds like oleocanthal, oleuropein, tyrosol, verbascoside, how to go through this really amazing leaf extraction process, the fruit extraction, right? There's olive oil that I guess is an extract from the fruit, but this is a different extraction process. So that awareness gap got filled for me about 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, my wife and I were spending some time in Europe on a Mediterranean cruise. We spent a lot of time in Italy and Greece. And one day we spent a full day on an olive farm, olive orchard. And it was one that was specifically focused on developing olives and olive oil that was of a high phenolic quality in nature. I had no idea about anything like that. I just knew that, olive oil is generally good for you. Put it on some salad, dip some bread in it. That was my awareness at the time, right? And so through that day, the people that ran this farm, they started educating me and the friends that we were with on a lot of these different things. Not all of this, but a lot of them. And so my awareness gap started to be filled that day. And ever since that time, I've been personally sourcing my own olive oil and especially a high phenolic, a good quality olive oil that way from a health perspective from overseas. And I've been taking it on a daily basis pretty much. And so it was fantastic. Yeah. So it's incredible. So here's a stat to look at, right? So average Italian consumes 14 liters of high quality extra virgin olive oil per year. The Greeks, overachievers, 20 liters, right?
Wow.
an average American consumes 1 liter of crappy olive oil per year. Now, we all have heard for years about the amazing benefits of the Mediterranean diet. In recent years, we've been starting to hear about blue zones. There happens to be a blue zone in Italy and a blue zone in Greece. It's no surprise that an important part of the Mediterranean diet happens to coincide with there being a blue zone in each of those areas, and that a big part of that is related to the olive. Right? Now, we're under no delusion that we're going to be able to take people from in the American culture from 1 liter of crappy olive oil per year to 14 or 20 liters. So we've got a better way, a simpler delivery mechanism to do that, both internally and then some topical benefits as well that we're going to get into. But you can start to see there's this big awareness gap that we're starting to take you on this journey, and you're going to continue on the journey yourselves. And I'll send you information in an email that allows you to continue on your own. But just some incredible things that we're getting into.
Oh, Curtis is right on. You guys, if you're Italian or over there, right? One of the things they put olive oil in everything. You guys, it's like that. Everything. What do you got there? Put some olive oil in it. What do you got there? You got a burn? Put some olive oil on it. Here, what do you got there? You got a cake? Put some olive oil in it. I'm not kidding. Olive oil cake. My daughter made a cake last night with olive oil in it, based on a recipe she got in Italy. It was delicious. So they're putting it in everything. We're putting it in absolutely nothing. As a matter of fact, in America, we teach you don't cook with it because it's got a smoke point, little horse crap. And then they're like, don't do it, and just sprinkle it on your food. Use seed oils because they're cheaper. Ladies and gentlemen, our solution to this is a product. The first one is called Prima. And we're saying pressing wellness to a whole new standard.
Oh, take a picture of that.
This is the phrase that we're using. So I'm going to jump to this slide right here. You can see what we've done is we've taken this high phenolic olive oil and we have put it into, when you have this, if you were in the room, what we do in this part of the presentation is we pour you a shot of extra virgin olive oil, high polyphenols. And that's the one that I showed you coming out of the spigot at the beginning. And then we show you what an extra virgin olive oil looks like that we're used to. Curtis is going to show you that in a second. It's hard to, the camera gets freaked out when we do 3D. So this picture right here shows you what our product that we're coming out with, which is a soft gel cap that is all the power of the olive in a high phenolic infused olive oil gel cap. And
well, but it's important to understand. So we're not just talking. So now let's kind of go through that awareness gap that we've been taking up, right? So there's a good quality extra virgin olive oil, which most of us aren't even getting at the store here normally anyway, right? And then there's the high phenolic extra virgin olive oil. All those stats that we showed you were just off of a good high quality extra virgin olive oil, not even a high phenolic extra virgin olive oil. So this is going to have a high phenolic extra virgin olive oil, which is very high in polyphenols, and our proprietary blend olivectin, which has unique components and extracts from the olive leaf and from the olive fruit. And that in combination with this simple delivery mechanism to get these incredible nutrients into your body every day, that's what Prima is.
It's true.
And by the way, someone asked this recently, is that the exact everything? This is wet paint, everyone. So just get an idea. We're still working out. Nobody's ever done what we're doing here before. And so we're working out some of the stuff. That's how it's going to be coming. We're working on the exact delivery on it, but yes, you're going to see this, but we're going to take the olivectin, and we're going to put these extracts in it. And experience tells me, having been around this industry a long time, we're going to see some amazing effects with people. People are going to have amazing results. I was just looking, I was just geeking out with Ashley. You think, but maybe we're like just chatting it up back here. We're actually talking about this. We get so excited when we get together. I was just looking at one of with the olivectin, with the leaf extract. There's one on bone health, and she pointed it out. I kind of briefly jump over this, but these are studies that come from this extract alone. Olive leaf extract, and they use the trademark, balances bone turnover processes in postmenopausal women. And it's just like incredible, and getting into alleviating pain in patients with knee osteoarthritis due to the anti-inflammatory and pain inhibitory effects. I mean, This is direct from their website and direct from their studies. And again, these are very, very reputable companies out of Europe that this is what they study. And that's just one, guys. That's it. That's just one. So I'll shut up. So I get a little bit.
No, that's good. I mean, and just to touch back a little bit on the awareness gap again, one of the amazing things about this community and about direct selling is that we and you are the perfect package in which to deliver this message to the masses. We're so good. This group and the direct selling model is a perfect delivery mechanism to educate the masses, to fill that awareness gap, and to help people become aware and get these incredible benefits into their lives.
Yeah.
And so we're really excited about sharing this with you and bringing this to bear this way. So let's continue. So internal benefits.
Internal, but there was, okay, people from my previous life know that we had a botanical, one of those few, every once in a while, there's a botanical that comes along, like an aloe vera, or in our previous life, mangosteen, that was not just good internally, but also had topical benefits. And so wait, there's more. Ashley, this is your slide.
Yes. So I don't know if you guys know this about olive oil, but it's antimicrobial, meaning you can put it on your skin. It's so safe. It's so good. It's so healing for your skin. We formulated a couple different products for you guys even to try out that we are working so hard to get them in your hands because we are so passionate about
What
it.
do you mean? You already put it in people's hands. I think some of these people have it, right? Herman has it. Yeah. Charlie, did you get yours yet? Charlie?
Yeah.
Yay.
No. Yeah?
No. Yep.
Charlie,
No.
Herman is.
Not yet.
Charlie, I'm still not going to send yours because you sent my cell phone number to your whole group when that software problem happened. So
No.
I was at Disneyland. Anyway, not that I'm holding a grudge. I love you, brother. Okay. Actually, that was a true story. And I love you, Charlie. I was just making a joke. Go ahead, Ashley. Sorry.
Okay.
Still your slide. These are Lux.
This is so luxe. I wish you guys were holding this right now so you could do this with me. I don't know about you, but when I wake up in the morning, my face usually stays like this because I sleep on my side, and I'm like, okay, well, that's not great. So I want something that I can put on immediately that, brings me back to life a little. I usually put it around my eyes at night before I go to bed. And it goes on so smooth and absorbs into your skin so beautifully. It leaves this sheen, and it's not oily or greasy because we have found that there's this component to it which actually comes from the olive tree. It could come from shark liver, but we decided to derive it from the olive tree. It's called squalane. So your body creates its own squalane. And at the age of 30, you stop producing it as much as you used to, leading to wrinkles, fine lines in your face. So by using this product, which has a lot of squalane in it, it mimics your body's own or your skin's own oils. So what you're doing is just rehydrating your face is what we really need to do, because that's what causes all the wrinkles.
But Ashley, what are we putting in our product? And
Well,
because we have people from our former life.
so we have this fun little ingredient called mangosteen seed oil. It leaves your skin so beautiful and hydrates it so well. And this wouldn't be Lux without it. It's so great for you. Another component in this is the the oleocanthal, which has a beautiful anti-inflammatory effect on your face. So sometimes I wake up and I have puffy eyes and I just, life's hard sometimes. You don't sleep, things happen. I put this under my eyes. They're gone. It is the most incredible thing. I just wish you guys could have it right now.
Oh, you guys, I got to brag on our young Ashley here. Young Ashley I'm going to out her because she outs herself all the time. She turned 40 2 years ago. 2 years ago. 2 weeks ago. 2 years. I'm teasing you. 2 weeks ago, Ashley turned 40. But for the last 6 months, when people ask her how old she is, she's been saying 40. And I go, but you're lying. And she's like, I don't even want to deal with it. I'm going to be 40 later this year. And she looks like she's 20.
Yeah.
I have some legal document was delivered about 2 years ago to one of my other businesses. And they're like, we need an adult to sign for this. So no, I'm an adult. Okay, this is a true story. There's no punchline. That really happened. Huh. they need you to produce ID. So she looks very young. But so she was the one championing the skincare line. By the way, viso in Italian simply means face. And there are 2 other components of this skincare line coming out this
I
fall.
think it's interesting. You and Joe had mentioned that your mom, your whole lives, used
Olive oil.
for her skin. That was her
Always.
skin treatment. And that was one of the things that 2 years ago when my wife and I were on our trip to the Mediterranean, ever since then, she's been sourcing skin products from those same locations that are olive based.
True.
It's a normal thing in certain cultures that is what they use for their skincare. So we get to bring that amazing component with the other componentry of the mangosteen
What is it?
pericarp oil,
PURO?
mangosteen seed oil, and
Hero.
our proprietary blend of olivectin to make these incredible products for your skin.
And we would go, like my mom would travel, because we moved out to the country when I was in 2nd grade. So my life would be maximum complicated. And my mom would make a pilgrimage about once every 8 weeks to Toronto to one of the import stores like Dorigo or Nino Diversa or Silvestri. And she would get these big cans of extra virgin olive oil from Italy because they're out in the country. There was an olive oil conspiracy of epic proportions for my mom. So my mom would put olive oil on her skin all the time. There was no sunblock for her. Olive oil itself is naturally somewhere between 6 and 8 SPF. And so she would do that. I'm not allowed to make that claim, so strike that from the record. But Viso, later this fall, we will be releasing the other 2 components after the Viso Luxe Serum, and that will be the cleanser and the moisturizer. And together, they all come together in a product we like to call Treviso, which is 3 faces. And it is the name of my mom's hometown, which I showed you at the beginning. Guarda mia mamma, che bella. And my mom, her hometown means 3 faces because there was a statue that was strategically outside of town that was the statue guarded the 3 ways into the town. And then it got bombed, but it doesn't exist anymore.
And
Statue.
just to point out again, you're seeing the beautiful imaging, the product packaging, the product itself, the labels. I mean, even we didn't really highlight it, but even that the packaging for Prima, I don't know if you noticed it, but it's actually a tin, right? So olive oil, especially high quality olive oil, especially high phenolic olive oil, needs to be.
Yeah, I got to show that. That's important.
Yeah, it needs to be protected.
Sorry.
It needs to be light protected. And so the way that we do that is to put it in a tin because it's beautiful. It also protects the product and just incredible looking packaging.
Yeah,
So-
photo degradation is a real thing. Olive oil has a shelf life because it doesn't have preservatives. So olive oil should be consumed within 12 months outset, like 18, 24 if it's in a cool, dry place. But wait, there's more. Topically, Ashley, after Treviso, we have one more product in the transdermal line. This one yours or Joe's? Joe, or go ahead.
I'll start, but I want you to finish because you told me something actually incredible.
Because
So
trading data.
I know. Just
Trading some monsters.
telling secrets over here. So I am the most excited for this as well, for the skin line. So we've been talking about high oleocanthal olive oil. So high oleocanthal is an anti-inflammatory, which they found in this olive oil. And I'm thinking, okay, I have a herniated disc in my back. I'm taking 6 ibuprofen a day. How can I stop this? I am killing my kidneys. I'm not sure what to do. This whole concept of olive oil comes out. We figure out what oleocanthal is. And then I'm like, okay, well, how much do I need to drink a day to get the same effect as ibuprofen? It was a lot. For 6 ibuprofen, I mean, I can't do that. So I thought, well, how do I do this topically? And turns out you can. So we created this really great product that you put wherever you're hurting, sore muscles, joints, and in 15 minutes, you can feel this effect. And it feels like you took an ibuprofen and rubbed it on the area, if that makes sense at all. But
By the way, you're like, Ashley's probably 90 pounds soaking wet. So when she said she took 6 ibuprofen, that freaks me out. Like I start to feel like vertigo when I take that much.
So, yeah.
Whatever. Maybe not vertigo. I don't know.
Yeah, it was so painful that I mean, there was so much inflammation in my back and my legs. It was pinching nerves. So I mean, I had to. And honestly, to tell you the truth, I am down to 1 in the morning and 1 at night. And I use this every day.
As do I. I have age is just a number, but that number is now 58 for me, and I started to develop arthritis in my thumbs. Now, two things started to happen when I started to take extra virgin olive oil on an empty stomach, tablespoon in the morning, like the Tuscans do it. But also, I actually developed this product. We've been going on a few weeks now. I think Hernan and at least a few of the folks have got it. And maybe we'll let Hernan weigh in here in a second and talk about it. But I rubbed it on I would rub it on my arthritis on my thumb joints here, to the point where, guys, is like I can't say this after we launch, but it's like, honestly, like, I think that it is, well, it's working as advertised. We shouldn't be surprised. The science tells it.
Yeah. So. And again, I'll send you all an email that allows you to look up some of the different polyphenols and other things. And so it'll connect this, and we'll send you samples too. So look for that email afterwards, so that if you have, I think I've got most of your mailing addresses, but if you want to change that, look for the email and respond. But it'll also have some of the terminology you can look up, because you'll see that this has all the aspects that we're putting into these products. The componentry has incredible studies behind it. And one of the great things about high quality, and not just high quality extra virgin olive oil, but high phenolic extra virgin olive oil, let alone the componentry of our olivectin, and this also has some of the mangosteen components in it as well, is that they naturally are very good at absorbing into the skin. And so this naturally is the blend and formulation that we've been putting together. It all absorbs well into the skin, which allows it to then get into those muscles and into those joints to allow it to really work where it hurts.
And nerves as well. Joe,
It does have the nerve components.
Zio Beppe, Dini Bello, tell me about the pain problems.
Okay, so Zio Beppe. It means Uncle Beppe.
Uncle Joe.
Just a little bit of a joke with our family. But so I was just telling Ashley before I broke my leg and my ankle quite a few years ago. Some of you know that from our former experiences together. And I've gotten to a point where it hurts a lot. I mean, I've run a lot on it, and so I decided I'm going to just stop taking anything for my pain on that. I'm just doing straight what we're talking about here. And
Well,
I don't know, guys.
Let me think. Joe, just so you know, Joe is one of the most fit people I know. You run all the time. You cycle all the time. You go through all sorts of regular, which would be really painful for probably the rest of us normally, but you're doing all of that on your ankle and the other injuries that you sustained over the years. And yeah, like
I like hockey. I just the skates alone are painful just to put on.
yeah, sorry to interrupt, but like
No, you're right though, and it's gotten to a point where it felt like I had a knife just jammed into my ankle on every day. It's just I lived with it. I don't know. I was just telling them I don't know how to even explain this. I've gone now the last 2 weeks or so, and do I feel it still a little bit? I feel it, but it's not that sharp feeling that I've had before. And all I'm doing is I'm now taking some internal versions of what, and when I say versions, we're still working on all the different components of this coming together really quick. And I'm rubbing this on my ankle every day. And I'm feeling great, guys. I don't know how to explain it. I don't even know how to explain it. So
Well, we should have
I've been in this industry my whole life. So.
Yeah, let's get her. Because Hernan, you had, like, interestingly, you had a product testimonial that happened within a day of you leaving our office, right?
Yeah, that evening when we got home.
Oh, there's Robin too. Hey, hello.
You want to share what happened when you shared it with your mother?
Oh, my mom. My mom's 85 and she's got scoliosis really, really bad. She's all hunched over and she has to walk with a cane or a walker. She has no balance. She has to hang on to stuff when she walks. And she's just in constant pain. So I got some of the little sample that we got. I did 4 drops in my hand and I warmed it up. And I rubbed it on her lower back and went kind of around the side of her hips. And then I was just talking to her and she said, well, what is this supposed to do? And I said, I really don't know, but it's gonna do something. And she was standing there talking to me and she just said, well, is this supposed to help my balance? And I said, I don't know, Mom. And she said, well, I feel like my balance is better. And so Hernan told her, well, go walk. And she walked without holding on to anything. She doesn't walk great, but she could never have done that. She went down, turned around without having to hold on to turn around, and she came back, and she did that like 4 or 5 times. It was like she really wants this now because she can't walk.
And she's the world's biggest skeptic,
Yeah.
you know? And so she said, now this I will buy. And then my son is the second most skeptical person in the world. He had a bum shoulder from lifting too heavy in the gym, and he couldn't raise it up over his head. And Dad, this is placebo. There's no way this is going to work. I've tried everything. This is placebo. So after about a half an hour of chatting, his wife finally convinced him to try it. And Robin took how many drops?
4.
4 drops, rubbed it into the palm of her hand, rubbed it on his shoulder. He said, see, it's placebo. And then like a few seconds later, he was like looking around, and he raised his arm, and it kept going higher and higher and higher. And then he went back and tried to touch his shoulder, and he was shocked. And finally he said, he went to the living room, laid on his side, on his right shoulder, and he just started laughing. He said, this stuff works. He couldn't believe it. He was shocked.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And then our other skeptic is, I think he might be on with us. It's Dr. Sessions. And Dr. Sessions, he's broken his neck, and he's in a lot of pain. And that I didn't talk to him for a day or two after he got his sample. He got a sample from Curtis there at home office, and he called me after 2 days, and it was real quiet. I figured I'm not talking, I'm not saying a word, because first one that talks loses. And he says, Hernan, I just got one thing to say, and I thought, you're going to beat me. I'm like, you're going to hit me over the head, aren't you? He said, no. He said, this stuff works. So
it works.
3 skeptics. Oh, there he is right there.
Yeah.
There's Dr. Sessions.
It absolutely works. I'm old and have all kinds of issues, and it worked on all of them. So it's spectacular. It's going to be fun for all of us to get that kind of relief. I've heard a couple of things on the call that are clinically significant, and one of them was the comment that I'm not taking as much ibuprofen, and that's one of the ways that pain relief is measured. The second one was what you said, Hernan, your son, is range of motion. These 2 things are measurable, and so you can take and look at, after you take this, monitor how much ibuprofen you're taking. I don't know if you guys realize this, but ibuprofen contributes to like 77,000 hospital admissions a year. The last time I looked at the numbers, 16,000 people a year die from taking non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. So to have something like this is incredibly significant. And what's nice, if you can measure this, like his skeptic son, when you can measure it, you can't deny it. And so anyway, I'm excited about everything that I've seen, not just the pain relief, but when I've looked in the literature now, there are so many studies that document the effectiveness of this. We've never had anything like it, quite like this in network marketing, not this extensively documented. So anyway.
I agree.
Dr. Session, interesting you bring this up. You know, because of my ankle, I've tried lots of different things. And I'm in full disclosure, guys, I am an herbal gerbil. Gord is right, but I've had to go to Advil, and I've had to go to ibuprofen for my ankle. And I just 4 weeks ago, to make matters even more challenging, I was playing hockey, and I have a horizontal tear in my meniscus on my left knee. Now, luckily, it's not so bad. My surgeon said, according to the MRI, I don't have to have a surgery. So, yay, I'm happy about that. But I'm having to take it a little bit easy. And so I'm rubbing it on my knee as well. But because of it, I tried everything, Dr. Sessions, and I even tried. There's a I don't remember what it's called. It's a cream. It's kind of like an anti-inflammatory cream, and I was using that a little bit on it. It didn't seem to make any difference. It honestly made no difference. But I asked my neighbor about it, who's a surgeon, and he said, "No, you know what? That actually can affect that. Going through the bloodstream can affect your kidneys as well." And I thought, oh my gosh, like I didn't have any idea. I didn't realize that even putting it topically, these anti-inflammatories can affect your kidneys. So you're concerned, not just orally, but also topically. So that's one of the reasons why I backed off of it, Dr. Sessions. And I can't explain it. I don't even know how to explain this. We thought at first that this flex, and full disclosure, everyone, we thought we were going to maybe come out with this maybe once a year, like just drop it once or twice a year. But the stories that are coming out in just a small amount, you just heard from Hernan and Robin just now, and Dr. Sessions. We're going to probably have to have this year round because
it's too powerful.
It's too, and a lot of people do live in this. Gord just talked about his thumbs. We just heard Hernan and Robin and Dr. Sessions talking here. A lot of people just live, and I'm one of those people right now. I never thought I'd be one of those people, but I am. And I have a neighbor who's a surgeon, another surgeon, doctor neighbor, and he's got bad thumbs like Gord. And I gave it to him. I was just having dinner, not dinner, but hanging out at his house on a Sunday night a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, here, try this out. He's like, yeah, okay. He's friends with me, and so he tried it out. Probably very skeptical, I'm sure, of the nutritional industry. About 15 minutes in, he's like, whoa. What was that? I said, well, it's derived from olive oil. And I explained squalene, like what you were, basic high level. And he's like, I wasn't able to hold my cell phone, my iPhone. I was not able to do this. I couldn't punch the keys like even 15, 20 minutes ago. And I'm like, he's like, what is this stuff? And I said, well, just try it. I'm going to keep it quiet at the moment, but it's very interesting. So I'm glad that Dr. Sessions, you gave that feedback, and Hernan and Robin. I really appreciate that, because it's just confirming what we know is here, and it's going to get gooder, everyone, because it's developing this. We've got these scientists that are working in the labs and making it even a little better. It's coming in. So what you got, Hernan and Robin, it's actually going to get better from what you even had.
Oh,
so
good.
It's pretty cool. Anyway, sorry,
Charlie, did you have a comment?
Keep going here.
That's good. Charlie, did you have a comment?
A few. This is very exciting, and I didn't think that I was doing this on purpose, but Joe and I are having a contest to see how badly we can wreck our bodies as we go through this part of our lives. And I'm really excited. I maybe mentioned this before. I've had all these knee surgeries on my left side, left knee, and I've got scar tissue that creates a burning. Do you guys suppose this could take care of burning nerve tissue? Will it go deep enough to do that? Don't know.
So where's the thing? It does work on nerves, Charlie. It's a very interesting thing because it actually does work at the nerve level. So yeah.
So Curtis, where's my flex?
It'll be great. It'll be great when you get in your hands to give us some feedback on that.
Oh yeah. Hey, and by the way, remember we put this together? It was our presentation book. I mean, I'm seeing you guys putting together some really good information, so that when we all are bold, and we're going to be able to go out and do this very boldly and with a lot of energy. But as we start to build our teams, I just want to make darn sure we empower them with simple, smart information. And it sounds like you guys are doing a good job there. And
you're right on, Charlie. And one of the beautiful things about that awareness gap that I'm talking about is that when you dig into this, I mean, you can just, for those who use GPT, you can ask ChatGPT about oleocanthal or other things, or you can Google it, and just a treasure trove of information about riboscicides, HP Evo, all these different studies. They're just there, but it's only been in the last few years, and so it's amazing. So we can put that together with what we've got and the independent stuff. It's going to be incredible.
Hernan knows I sent him a bunch of stuff on Google Scholar and elsewhere. I've been digging into this thing because I'm not an herbal gerbil, but I'm a kind of sort of. I just like to have the facts, the real facts, so that when we're talking, we got them.
Exactly.
And, hey, one other thing. There was a guy in Michigan that with Zango that he he tested the juice 5-6 ounces at a crack, and he built one hell of a business, and he's a 200K. You guys remember Art Klemchuk?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
on here.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Artie, I think Artie's here. I made him sign an NDA, my own NDA. Mine. I sent him an NDA. I said,
Charlie. There he is.
and he said he can't sleep when he started to learn a little bit about what we had our hands on. So we're gonna take care of Western Michigan with Art.
We can't sleep either, Art, so.
And I don't know that he knows how to. I don't know that he knows how to unmute himself.
Okay, guys, I want to jump in here with all this excitement. I know we have to keep going, so I can geek out about this all day long. But what we're talking about here, when you hear from Dr. Sessions there and Hernan and Robin and us talking about these, we're not even talking about the oral versions of what we're talking about. We're talking just the flex.
Transdermal, yeah.
So the transdermal, we start to add to it the leaf, the olivectin, the leaf and the fruit extract. We're still not 100% sure where that's going to go. I can just say that experience tells me we're going to see some amazing things.
Oh yeah.
Because it's just going to take it to a totally different level. We had someone over the weekend that we had a presentation with last week. They found a video of a doctor that's using it where they do, in fact, I've got a lemon here for that purpose. They take lemon and they put it in their olive oil every day. And Ray, you remember that video? It was like crazy, right? Like,
yeah, it was.
About very scientifically about just HP Evo and lemon juice. They just happen to cut it with lemon juice. I don't know if there's anything necessarily. We all know the power of lemon, but then you start taking the extracts and you start putting it into it and you start doing the flex. Well, I'm really excited, guys. I know what I'm going to say. I'm really excited to see where this is going to go.
Ray, did you have some other comments?
Yeah, just a comment. Charlie held up his Zango presentation book, and I just wanted to tell him that the FDA is still looking for the author of that.
He resides in Utah.
Yeah, there you go.
He's
exciting stuff.
Point, but we'll be careful, of course, going forward. But all these tighter groups right now, as we're talking, just know that we got something very powerful. This is not just something we're just. I mean, this is very powerful.
It only works if it is extra virgin olive oil certified. And I'm telling you, the problem that everybody's having, including Italians don't buy their olive oil from a grocery store, from the supermercato. Perché? Because they don't trust it, right? Because once it leaves the plantations, once it leaves the facilities that actually press the oils and store them, they are thoroughly. They're not convinced. It is actual fact that a lot of oils are now cut with cheaper oils like sunflower oil or canola from foreign countries because
olive oil, for instance.
Right. Because if you cut, first of all, it's no longer extra virgin olive oil if it's 40% canola oil, but they've got to the point where they actually will, because we don't care in America, especially to America. They send it to America, and what we're getting is no longer what is advertised on the can. It's pretty bad. So one of the things that we're introducing, and we're calling it when we say the olive standard of health, every OLIABO product undergoes multiple rigorous inspections. These are the inspections that you go through with olive oil. So imagine this, when you're buying olive oil in Italy directly from a vat that has a number, you can actually, if you have the understanding, you get the batch, you bring it back to the United States, and then what is delivered to you, you have to verify. That's the process. So we have these seals, and if you saw the products that historically here that we're showing, you see that one has a seal. The Treviso product has a seal. Sorry, I'm giving guys vertigo going backwards so fast. See the seal along the lid. It is a seal that we have created, and it has a multiple step process that you can say with great assurity that the product you're getting is what we say. And by the way, I'll put this out there. There is we call it the spritz of dreams.
All those pictures.
There's a scent associated with our products as well, and the scent is it has olive blossom with sweet almond, and it smells a little bit like the beautiful parts of Italy, but it'll be a scent associated with our brand. So this is the what we're calling the Minerva seal of authenticity. I'll explain it in the future. a little bit here, but I wanted to keep going because we do have a little bit of discussion left. We're almost at the end, but one of the things I was going to say is every day now, the economy has changed around us. We used to be part of a world where auto ships and auto delivery programs were something that seemed odd. Like people would say, oh, you know what? I don't want to be part of an auto ship. But suddenly the whole world's gone to subscription. Like we get everything on subscription, but like razor blades, wine, underwear, aromas, Disney entertainment, Apple Music, everything is now. It used to be you'd buy software for your office. You'd have to buy a DVD or a CD and put it in a machine. Now you just buy a monthly subscription. And the other thing that has changed is that we used to be a culture and a country that said, we don't want things shipped to us. We want things, we want to go to the store. We want to poke things with a stick. We want to go and talk to the, minimum wage clerk at the GNC to tell me about my supplements. The world's changed. Anymore, we are completely reliant on delivery. If I get home from work and there isn't a package sitting on my door, I think that the gate's broken to my community. Like I think something's wrong because I get a delivery every single day. I kind of like it. It's kind of like a surprise. You get to open stuff. So we have our products are all created in nice, easily deliverable packages. You're going to run out naturally in 1 month time, so you don't have product building up. But I just wanted to say those are the two things that we're building on at Tenants. I will say something. I'm going to skip to this so we can get to questions, but one of the things that our industry does very well that historically we've been known for is that we do trips, reward trips. But when we say reward trips, they're also quite educational. Like there's one thing I'll leave the witnesses for folks on here. It was one thing for the Charlies and the Hernan and the Robins to talk about mangosteen. It was another thing to go to Thailand and see where it's the national fruit and where it's been elevated to a level of reverence over there. And to be able to experience all the sights and sounds and smells of Southeast Asia. And the same is true for actually making a pilgrimage to an olive plantation. Joe, Curtis talked about his, but Joe, talk about the one that you did in Sicily where they talked about the olive grove that you visited.
Well, first of all, it's everywhere. I mean, in Sicily, it's like all over the place. And there was a particular place that we went to. Anyways, if anyone wants to go to Sicily, absolutely magical. Just let you know, it's like nothing I've ever experienced before. But there's a place called the Valley of the Temples, and there's Greek ruins. Yes, they have Greek ruins in Sicily that go back like 500 years before Christ. I mean, it's a long time. And in the one particular area, had nothing to do with our tour. We had a tour guide; he's very nice, and had nothing to do with our tour. It just happened to be that there's an olive tree, and they're all over the place. Again, they're just kind of everywhere, and a lot of places will have their own olive groves. But this tree just sitting right in front of one of these Greek. I need to put it in the presentation because it's kind of cool. We got a picture of it, but
there was one.
It's just sitting there, and it's like massive. And he said, "Everyone, just take a moment. Put your hands on the tree, and I want you to feel the power of this olive tree." Now, they don't know exactly how old it is. Somewhere around 1,000 to 1,200 years old is what they're claiming. Now, there are trees
still alive, by the way.
Still alive, still
Tree.
producing olives, the whole bit. There are trees, by the way, I Googled it, as much, even before Christ on the earth. Like we're talking 2,000 plus 2,000 to 3,000 years old. And he just said, feel the power of this tree. And I thought that was a really interesting experience. It had nothing to do with our tour, nothing to do with the Greeks and their ruins, which were really fascinating. And we did. And I put my hands, and he didn't know that we were going through this. Gordon talked to me about this. This was earlier this year. And it was really kind of a neat experience. And I realized we're onto something here, guys. We're onto something that the awareness gap that Curtis is talking about. There's this sense, and you see it now, it's bubbling up. You're going to see people talking about it. Now that your reticular activating system's starting to work, you're going to start noticing it. And you're going to start seeing people talk about it, but they don't really know where to start. They're just like, hey, take a spoon. Okay, take it. And then we don't know where to start. Well, okay. And then they reach into what are they getting? Probably the stuff that you showed, that stuff. Yeah, you can show it. They don't know, and then they might take it and they're like, nothing. But they don't realize they're not taking the right stuff. There's no awareness. There's no education. And what do we do well in our industry? Gosh darn it, we educate the masses. There's a reason why people drink bottled water. And you know what? It started with our industry. It really did. And people don't know that. They don't know that network marketers educated the first people saying, you will drink filtered water or your body will be the filter. That's what happened. And right now we got a whole bunch of people right before their eyes. They don't even know what is even here. They don't understand it. People are now talking about seed oils. They're saying, hey, be careful of seed oils. But what does that mean? They're saying, hey, you should take olive oil. But what does that mean?
And where do you get it from? And what are the other components they don't?
That's where OLIABO comes in. That's where we all come in and we educate the masses. And it's going to be amazing. And we're going to talk about, just like when we put our hands on that tree, we're going to talk about the power of it and and what can come from this. The leaf and the fruit and the oil. That's where it's going to come. So I don't know if that's...
That is great, Joe. I mean, one of the other benefits about that awareness gap and being able to fill it is that it creates a massive opportunity for those who want opportunity, right? And I think there's an important piece of that for all of us here. And so, as you can see, this short journey we've taken you on that's going to lead to a big adventure. We have the team in place to execute. We have a system in place with this industry and direct selling as the model and the system. We have unique products that we're bringing to market. We have a massive awareness gap that needs to be filled that can bring incredible benefits to the masses and incredible opportunity to those who will get involved. And the comp plan, which we're not going to expose yet, we're putting the finishing touches on it, is going to give people the ability to make money, to make a good check, to have a solid business opportunity. And we're putting this all together in this beautiful package, the beautiful imagery, the beautiful brand and opportunity that is OLIABO.
And one of the things that we said in the fall of 2002, you got to realize that when we launched Zango, it was a year after 9/11. It was actually exactly a year after 9/11. And the United States had fallen into a state of malaise. We had lost our, I don't know if you remember this, folks. I'm old, so I remember this. But there was a malaise and a lack of, I don't know, Americans kind of, they lost that American dream a little bit. And one of the things that when we started in fall 2002, things grew rather fast. Charlie, you remember that, eh? And Joe started saying from the stage, hey, it's safe to dream again. You can actually build a business from the comfort and safety of your home with reliable products that you can come to trust. And so I put this slide in a few weeks ago. Ray saw the first presentation, so he never saw this slide. I created it since, and it says, it's safe to dream again, because Joe's here. I think it's funny, it's clever. But one of the things that, right before our eyes, we started with that quote about something right before our eyes. Back I love history, and Ray's not from Texas, but he's from pretty dang close to Texas. Oklahoma's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like a satellite of Texas, kind of like Texas Light. But, in Texas history, I'm a fan of, there was this story that I read once, and it was a poor rural farming family living on a piece of farmland, and somebody knocked on their door one day, and it was some oil executives, and they said, hey, we want to set up some testing on your property, and we would like to set up a derrick, and if we ever hit oil, you'll receive a portion of the profits from it, and if we don't, then no harm, no foul. They said we have nothing to lose, everything to gain. They let these guys set up a derrick. What ended up happening in quick order is they hit the biggest oil deposit, I believe, still to date that was ever found in the United States. They called it spindle top. The oil came out so fast that it blew the top off the derrick. And that company went on to become Texaco, and it created millionaires and millionaires and millionaires. That family went from 3 generations of poverty to rich overnight. But my question is, did they really? Because they had been sitting on this 3 generations.
Wow.
It just had somebody discover it.
Wow.
They had been sitting on this their whole life. And they went from poor to rich overnight. But again, did they? No, they had the resources right in front of them. So it was deemed significant. And that's the thing that we're talking about here. I will leave on this. There's a couple of slides I'm just going to share with the group. That in Italian culture, if you go to lunch or dinner at Italians' table, you will generally hear salute more than once. They raise their glass, and it just means to your health. And we are using the word salute with our marketing stuff going forward, the olive standard of health. And so, folks, I think we're gonna leave a dent this fall. Ray says, put up everything that'll break. And that's true. So that's a quick capsule summary of what we're doing this fall. And
Yeah, let me finish on one thing and then let's start taking some questions. So one of the things we've been saying internally that I forget who brought it up originally, but as you can see, this whole package we're putting together, we're really passionate about the industry, about the products we're bringing to bear. And so we put forward the word renaissance. We are going to be tip of the spear to lead a renaissance into the direct selling space. And we're excited to do it. And we're hopeful that you'll join us in bringing forth that renaissance.
It's true.
Let's get into some questions. Charlie.
Oh,
Hey.
sorry.
There's a couple other things you wanted to share?
I was going to tease just for a second because some of you have been on twice. And I want to let you know something. There is some wet paint. It's not wet paint. It's actually, we're about 90% programmed now. We're launching a compensation structure and we're calling it Premio Pay. It's the word that we're coming up with. We're all friends on this one. There's power in simplicity. There's a story from ancient history about a gentleman named David who seemed to be buck naked, and he had he went and fought a giant that was well armored and considerably bigger than he was, and won it and made a pretty big dent in history, no pun intended, and the guy's skull, from what I understand. But there's power in simplicity, folks, and I think that one of the things that we are trying to do, and this is something that we've lost this. Ray put me on the phone with somebody that was outside of the country recently, and he was saying that we look to America. We look to America for the inspiration entrepreneurial ventures. We always look to America. You guys lead in entrepreneurship. And he said, it seems like the last few years, there's been a lack of the bullish optimism to do with direct selling. And he's like, when's that coming back? And I was like, well, it is coming back. Folks, it is absolutely possible to work where you want, when you want, with the people you want, and earn whatever you deserve. And I put at the bottom here because it's your red, white, and blue right. And I love Canada, but I moved to the United States for a reason, and so did Joe. There is a spirit of optimism, and it hurts my pride when I turn on the news some nights and I hear that everything's wrong with this country. And I'm like, man, I open my door in the morning and chirp, chirp. I got birds and it's pretty nice. And there's no meth addicted like cougar attacking me. That's got, is in some sort of gang. This is still a beautiful place to do business. And we're going to inject this thing also financially with about 1,000 volts, the industry, because I'm looking left and I'm looking right. And our industry, both nutritionals and direct selling, has turned into kind of a dumpster fire of despair, and we're going to bring back a certain optimism. So yeah, just to let you know, we're pretty close at showing comp plan too. Maybe some person on the line here that actually saw some of it. So anyway, now I'm done. I'll go back to Salute.
Charlie,
real quick, what are you thinking for the minimum? What are you thinking for minimum auto ship? The value or the cost?
A number you're used to from your past. Somewhere around there.
We're still dialing that in because we don't have our costs exactly dialed on product yet, but we're getting close.
It's going to be pretty close to what you remember.
Video. So the master of video there, Gordon, what are you thinking? Like short 5-minute videos?
Yeah, we're actually going to start with under 5 minutes. There's going to be a teaser that we'll be releasing very shortly. I'm working with a gentleman that you probably at some point in your past ended up meeting, or I know there's a couple people online definitely met because he pointed a camera at you. So great videographer that I'm working with on a production that will be, it'll be this congruent upon congruent upon congruent. We're going to start with a tease, and it's going to be progressive releases of information towards the September unveiling of a website. And then shortly thereafter, there's a thing about this, Charlie, I love you to death because you can handle a little wet paint. You've seen what we've done in the past.
Oh yeah.
And it's not wet paint anymore. There's stuff that I haven't even updated on this slide deck, but it's moving significantly fast, folks. So, yeah.
You want to stop sharing?
Yeah, I'll stop sharing for a second. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Right.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Gordon, you call it wet paint, but if you change any of this beautiful stuff, I'll come and haunt you. It's gorgeous. Everybody, look, this is like the perfect storm. Most of us have been kind of working our way through the network marketing life ever since we left the Zango company. We didn't leave the Zango company. It got sold, but that's done a long time ago. Folks, I just want to share with you that, we can't do what I'm about to tell you just yet, but we can pretty soon. Just want to share this with everybody. Many of you I don't know, some of you certainly in the Zango days. God smiles on me, I think, every day of my life. And but he smiled on me particularly 40 years ago. I've had 40 years of success in this industry, and reluctantly got involved 40 years ago and liked it. And right after that, I got introduced to a famous man. Most of you know Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn was my personal mentor. Got to spend time with Jim Rohn, quite a bit of time. And Jim Rohn said to me back then, Charlie, this will be an old story for you, but it's such a true story. Ernan, I know you know it's true. Jim Rohn said to me, he said, Ray, if you find the right network marketing opportunity at the right time, and you built your business for 90 days as if your life was hanging in the balance, it could set you up financially for the rest of your life. Now, I listened to him very intently. Most people don't know Jim Rohn was a network marketer deluxe. He was the third largest distributor in the Herbalife company. Nobody, they didn't publicize that. He trained all the people, but he was the third largest distributor. Probably his estate still is today in the Herbalife business. So find the right network marketing opportunity at the right time. Build your business for 90 days as if your life was hanging in the balance. I didn't have to pretend 40 years ago that my life was hanging in the balance. It really was. Behind in everything, 3 kids, another one on the way. I'm just a poor boy, uneducated from Oklahoma. And I needed for things to turn around in my life. Couldn't pay the, house payments on time. Couldn't pay the car payments on time. Turning off my utilities. Have to pay a deposit to get them turned back on. That little piece of advice took me from poverty to fortune. Never forget. I met Bob Proctor about the same time. Spent time with him. Spent time with Zig Ziglar. God just smiled on me. These group of unbelievable people were in my life. Bob Proctor said, if you find out what you want, write it down on a card, read it often. Well, what I wanted more than anything else 40 years ago was some money to pay my bills, take care of my family. I wanted more than anything for them to have a life that I never got growing up. Didn't want them to experience that at all. So I wrote on a card 40 years ago, I'd be earning $5,000 a month in my 3rd month in my new venture called network marketing. Green as I could be, broke as I could be, but I worked as hard as I could for 90 days and beyond. I'll never forget my 3rd month royalty override check was $5,310 and some change. Never ever forgot it. And I never ever looked back. Never done anything but network marketing since then. I've applied that formula 4 different times. Each and every time it was amazing what can happen. So I want to tell you, when we get our opportunity here to do our 90-day run, just remember what I shared with you today. You give it everything you got for 90 days. I mean, we got a story to tell. We've heard it here today. I know that unless there's something wrong with you, you're excited. And I haven't seen a person, well, maybe 1 or 2 leave this call, but I got to tell you, we are at the right place at the right time, and you've found the right company at the right time. You give it a 90-day all-out effort. Just do your best. Don't get caught doing less than you're capable of doing. I promise you, we're going to raise a giant again, probably bigger than it was before.
Oh, yeah.
And I couldn't be more excited, not for myself, but for all of you as well. We're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to help an awful lot of people. We're going to help a lot of people get healthier, and we're going to help a lot of people get wealthier. That's it, guys.
Thanks so much, Ray.
That, folks, is the reason why Ray was the first person I called.
So we want to be mindful of your time, Hernan. I see you got a question. I want to show y'all something. Let me see if I can get the camera to refocus on me for a second here. Come on now. Okay, so can you see these 2 vials I'm holding up here?
Yep.
So the vials are both clear glass, but the liquid inside, this one here that looks pretty clear and mediocre. This is probably the olive oil you've got in your pantry right now, or what you buy at the store. This is what I've got. I checked mine last night, actually. This is a high phenolic, high quality extra virgin olive oil. Isn't that incredible, the difference? And that's just the high phenolic extra virgin olive oil. This doesn't have the other componentry we're talking about, the olivectin pieces with the specialized leaf extract and the fruit extract. So we're going to send you a little sample of this so you can feel what that tastes like in the back of your throat, but realize that we're going to simplify the delivery method by doing it in gel caps, but wanted you to see that visually. Pretty incredible. Hernan.
I just wanted to thank you guys for sending the samples out. Everybody was super impressed. And so far, I've done a little follow-up, and everyone I follow up with has had success immediately. So I just want you to know that.
That's wonderful.
Thanks. We actually, it's Hernan, interestingly, Hernan and Ray were in so early that their samples were pretty rudimentary, to the point where Ray was like, I think I didn't get mine. And then he's like, I got it. I was like, scramble to send you another one over a weekend. And they have a nice little presentation now. We have a picture of it. You'll get postcard of Italy and a few things like that. By the way, Ray, that was beautiful, brother. I love you to death. That was an unbelievable.
I love you guys. I love you guys too. That's why I'm here. I know how comfortable you are in this space, and we're just seeing just the beginning of some beautiful things about to happen. And I trust you completely, and I know these people do as well.
Well, thank you, sir. This is what Ray didn't get, and this is what Hernan and Robin didn't get, because Ashley hadn't put her, she didn't Martha Stewart it yet then. So Ashley's getting her Italian groove on. You spent a lot of time in Italy in your side.
You'll get this kit, and there's a few little Italian candies in there just for fun. And so, again, look for the email from me coming shortly, and it'll give you some good fun terminology you can look up and start to further fill your awareness gap and have some fun learning more about the different polyphenols and other things. And then we'll be shipping these out to you soon, so that you can experience some of where we're going.
Those are
Bruce, would you overnight mine, please?
Maybe
we got a couple more minutes. We appreciate your time. Any other questions that we can ask? And you can always reach out afterwards.
Yeah, maybe Dr. Sessions can come by and grab one of those.
Yeah. Are you in Utah?
Yeah. He's local.
Yeah, come on by.
Well, I definitely want to talk to you, Dr. Sessions, because if you're local, we should get together. Let's talk.
Yeah.
I think that's it for now, but we're always here. We're available. Reach out. Look for an email from me today. And we hope you'll join us on this journey. We're excited. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, everybody.
Cheers,
so much.
guys.
Thank you. Awesome.
Take care, everyone.
Appreciating you. Oh
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Good job. Good job.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Ciao, Betty.
We can't be more excited. Okay.
Man.
That was awesome. I gotta shut off the recording.
Well, if we got the box, don't open it. We'll go open it at Wade's.